I'm with a man who doesn't really need much of an introduction, but for anyone who doesn't know, this is Goldie. You once said that you got into graffiti, or you actually painted your estate because you couldn't get into thieving.
Well, yeah, you just graft, innit? You know what I mean? Some people are good at some things, some people are good at doing that. I just couldn't cut it out,
It kept you out of trouble?
Well, yeah, it kept me out of trouble and stuff, you know what I mean? And if you're going to be good at something, you know what I mean, I'd be good at it, you know what I mean, no matter what it is.
You spent some time helping Soul to Soul with their artwork, didn't you, in London, and travelling from club to club. Did you always want to get into music before you did that?
I fell into music purely by accident from the artistic side of it, doing record sleeves, and I think the first kind of doing, the guy responsible really for me getting a twitch into was Harry B, really, because I used to hang out in the studio when he was doing a Soul album, the second one, and Hooper as well. I used to go down to London and check Nelly, and I just sat in on a few sessions at Mayfair, and I thought, what's going on? I started drawing a lot of artwork and stuff, and got the production side of it, I think.
Okay. And why did you choose hardcore?
I just think, hardcore's where it's at. I mean, it's really weird for me because it's like, I go all around the world doing this, and I still, from doing films and Bond and whatever else, it's really brilliant that you can still keep your hardcore, so to speak. I mean, it's better to be like that. I really get a kick off going to my club when I'm in the country and freaking people out. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be somewhere else, I saw you last week in Hello magazine, and then you're here at the club having a laugh with some down-to-earth people, which is the irony of what I think this music's about, really, bringing a lot of people together. Your
two albums, Timeless and Saturn's Return, have got loads of different ideas. Would you say that they are drum and bass, or do you think it's too sort of broad to pigeonhole?
Well, drum and bass is whatever you want it to be. Do you know what I mean? You can take it to the extremes of what you want to do. The fourth album I'm doing now is grassroots, a very grassroots album, very nitty-gritty, because it is going back to breakbeat. And it's very Latin drums and African drums and synthetic drums orientated. It's a lot rawer, because I don't really have to prove anything in albums anymore. And I think people have just got to take the same attitude, that you don't make the albums necessarily for the market, you make it for the people that are going to be thinking about getting into music. And that's what albums, Timeless will always be that, because that's what the kind of album it's designed for. Saturn's Return will always be for that time in your life where you grow into it. It's not an album you can just listen to, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Timeless was always a film, it was never really an album. The album was the vision to it, do you know what I mean? And along the way, the time will come where that gets made now, and people will see it for what it is.
Do you use your role in like the Bond movie as a sort of a learning process? Do you watch the director? Do you watch the producer?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Apps is very, people forget he did 7 Up, and 7 Up was a brilliant documentary series. He's a great director, but I had a great time doing Everyone Loves Sunshine because it was a main lead and it was full on. But I think the director was just about getting his wings together, do you know what I mean? Because some parts of the film I thought, a bit cheesy, some parts I thought, yeah, full on. But that's when I got to step in and be a director, and you're getting paid to do a job, and you just say, you know what, I'll just be Terry and do my part and leave that to the director.
Yeah. So what are you going to be focusing on next year?
Timeless, the film, definitely. That's the synopsis and everything else is very much complete now, and I'm looking at different people, writers in London. And Josh Evans is going to be co-writing it. He's done a lot of work this year. Josh is Robert Evans' son, the guy who did Cotton Club and stuff. He's a great director. Brilliant. He did the Mother video and stuff. So we're going to co-direct it. And I think Robbie Carlyle's company are looking at funding the development of it, which is going to be a very different way of doing things. And then the next album, I'm doing that now. Started last week with Matrix, so we're going to be doing that for the next 4 or 5 months. And cracking on, really. I think it's been a great couple of years. Now I think it's time to just take a little rest, get the label up and running again, and just taking things at a more serious pace now. It's been all about me, but I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about everybody else. Yeah. So it's kind of good. But a lot of people coming through, man. I'm really glad to be back and seeing everybody still thriving on the drum and bass. It's a great thing.